students, and welcome to a new episode. This is Target English Grade 9 featuring episode 24 covering Module 2, Unit 6, in which we will be focusing on our last writing task for the first term. As we previously mentioned, in the first term, we focus on the narrative type of writing and the descriptive type of writing. And in today's episode, we're going to focus specifically on descriptive writing. Before we go deep into the writing process and what ideas to write and what should we write about, let's understand what is meant by descriptive writing. Descriptive writing is basically writing that describes everything or gives a clear and concise description of everything. It could be a place, an object, an event, a person, and so on. And because it is descriptive writing, or because everything is described in detail, an image is formed in the reader's mind. So the purpose of descriptive writing is to describe a person, place, or thing in a way that a picture is formed in the reader's mind. You're supposed to provide enough details to evoke the senses of the reader. You want to evoke the senses of sight, smell, touch, and so on. The purpose is also to describe something in a very realistic way that the reader can actually feel it, or if they actually saw it based on your description, they will recognize it. There are some guidelines that you need to follow when it comes to descriptive writing and in order to have a well-written descriptive piece. What are these guidelines? Descriptive writing is vivid, colorful, and detailed. So pay close attention to details. Try to visualize everything you're going to describe. Create sensory details like sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste, and try to evoke the senses within the reader. Choose a good topic and decide what it's going to be about. So try to choose a topic that you can actually describe. Use descriptive words like adjectives to make your writing more interesting. Adjectives are extremely important with descriptive writing because they make your writing beautiful. So you're going to enhance your writing with adjectives. It is important to organize all the details in chronological order. And reread and reflect to see if more details are needed or if your writing has so many details that you need to remove some. So it's important to reread and reflect on your descriptive writing. Before we start writing our topic, let's take a look at the writing process. As you remember, we have 5 main stages. We start with the pre-writing stage, followed by the drafting stage, revising, editing, and the final stage is publishing. Let's look at each and every stage in detail. Let's start with the pre-writing stage for descriptive writing, which is basically known as the planning stage. You're going to choose your topic, think about what you're going to write and how you are going to write your topic. So what are you going to describe and how you're going to describe it? Think about the qualities you are going to describe and make a list of the details you will describe. Make an outline, a mind map, or use a graphic organizer. So you're going to create a form of a plan in order to jot down your ideas. The descriptive writing plan, it includes the introduction, or your writing includes the introduction, which is an introductory statement that sets the scene and introduces the reader to the topic. Have a strong opening line that grabs the reader's attention and that makes them want to read your writing. You then have 2 body paragraphs. Each body paragraph should develop a separate point and provide supporting details and specific examples. Each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that states the main idea of the paragraph. And finally, you have your conclusion, where you should tie all of the ideas in your essay together. Try to restate your point and end with a strong final sentence. In your conclusion, do not add anything new. Simply evaluate your ideas in the essay and wrap things up with a short final statement. That's the pre-writing stage. Moving on to the drafting stage. In the drafting stage, you're going to use the ideas mentioned in your plan to write a complete rough draft of the essay. So you only have your points in the plan, right? You will use them now to write a rough draft. It's not the final thing yet. Develop a more cohesive text to organize your ideas. Focus on the things which will evoke the images in the reader's mind. So when writing your draft, think of the things or the descriptions that will evoke the senses or images in the reader's mind. Don't worry about spelling, grammar, or punctuation mistakes. All mistakes will be revised in the following steps. Which brings us to the revising stage. In the revision stage, students review, modify, and reorganize their work with the goal of making it better. With descriptive writing, when you come to review your work, there are some questions that you can ask yourself. For example, do my paragraphs confuse more than they describe? Am I describing to my reader or am I confusing them? Are there enough details to give the reader a complete picture? Or is the picture or painting missing? So do I have enough details to create a whole picture in the reader's mind? Do the word choice and figurative language involve the 5 senses? Are my adjectives enough that they can evoke the 5 senses within the reader? After revising, we come to editing, where you will proofread and look out for language errors like grammar, spelling, punctuation marks, and edit to improve style and clarity. And finally, we come to the publishing stage, where you will share the report with the rest of the class. Before we write or proceed with our writing task, it is important to understand how will you be graded if you have a written piece. There are some rubrics that your teacher follows. They are composed of planning, so you will be graded for planning. Did you create a mind map, a graphic organizer, or an outline? You will be graded for the exposition of ideas and coherence. Are your ideas coherent? Do they follow a chain of thoughts? You will be graded for paragraphing and number of sentences. Did you write 2 paragraphs? Did you follow the required or did you follow the required number of sentences? You will be graded for grammar, spelling, punctuation, and handwriting. Now, let's apply the procedure to write a topic about cultural attractions. You can find this task in your student book, page 51. The task tells you to choose 3 places you think one shouldn't miss seeing in Kuwait and write a report of 2 paragraphs describing the places. Describe the attraction, location, how it looks like, and specify the things one can do there and what makes the places special. Let's look at some adjectives we use in order to describe a place. So remember, the task tells us to describe 3 places one shouldn't miss seeing in Kuwait. And we want to write a descriptive writing, so it's supposed to be filled with adjectives. Let's look at some of the adjectives we can use when describing a place. We have positive adjectives that include attractive, beautiful, lively, calm, fascinating, peaceful, ancient, modern, quiet, traditional. If I want to describe a place in a negative way, I can say boring, crowded, dull, expensive, polluted, touristy, ugly, noisy. Before we write, what are we going to do? We're going to collect ideas. So let's think of the cultural attractions in Kuwait. We're going to choose 3. We're going to talk, for example, about Jaber Al-Ahmed Cultural Center, Abdullah Al-Salim Cultural Center, and Souq Al-Mubarakiyya. Now, what are the things to do and what's special about these places? You're going to collect ideas about what are the things that you can do and what's special in Souq Al-Mubarakiyya, Jaber Al-Ahmed, and Abdullah Al-Salim Cultural Centers. And we will look at the ideas in further detail. We have the plan. So our topic is cultural attractions. Where do I get my ideas? For the topic, you will get the 2 main ideas from the heading itself. The task tells you to describe the attraction, location, and how it looks like. So we want the appearance of the attraction. That's for your first body paragraph. For your second body paragraph, you're going to specify the things one can do there and what makes the place special. So let's proceed with our plan. First body paragraph, attractions. Second body paragraph, things to do and what's special. Let's take it one by one. Attractions. سوق المباركية. You have old markets located in Kuwait City and historic design. Sheikh Jaber Lehmet Cultural Center, theaters, concert halls, restaurants located on the Gulf Road. Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, large museums. Now let's look at what's special about each and every attraction. Souq al-Mubarakiyya, you shop and eat at the different markets, represents Kuwait's heritage. Jaber Lehmet Cultural Center, musical and theater events and eat at restaurants. Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, visit the museums and represents the Kuwaiti and Islamic culture. Now that we have written our ideas, it's time to take the ideas from our plan and write a complete rough draft for our writing. Before we do that, remember to use a capital letter after a full stop to indicate a sentence has ended, new one is going to start. Start a sentence with a capital letter. Use a full stop to show the end of a sentence. Use a comma to show a pause in a sentence. Use a question mark to show a direct question. So let's write the topic. Body paragraph 1. I'm going to introduce my topic. I want something to grab the attention of my reader. So I can say something along the lines of, whether visiting or staying in Kuwait, it is important to explore the wonderful and unique cultural attractions. See how I gave a general descriptive statement? Topic sentence for my first body paragraph. I want to describe the three places. Souq al-Mubarakiyya, Sheikh Jaber Lehmet and Abdullah Salim cultural centers have special features and eye-catching designs that you shouldn't miss seeing. I'm going to support my topic sentence here, so I'm going to provide supporting details. Al-Mubarakiyya is the oldest souk located in the heart of Kuwait City and has a gorgeous historic design. On the Gulf Road, the busiest road in Kuwait, you can capture Jaber Lehmet Cultural Center, which is uniquely designed in the shape of a jewel consisting of huge theaters and concert halls. Outside, there is a large public park with a colorful dancing water fountain surrounded by numerous restaurants. Another attraction you can see is Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, which has a variety of fascinating museums. The center is beautifully designed as a district to remind us of a traditional Kuwaiti neighborhood. See how my supporting details here are filled with adjectives. You can almost imagine the scene in front of you or the picture. Moving on to body paragraph 2, we have a topic sentence along the lines of, when visiting the attractions, there are entertaining activities that one can do to fully enjoy the cultural experience. I presented my second idea. Now I want to support it with details so I can go on and describe. In Souq al-Mubarakiyya, people can explore the lovely Kuwaiti heritage by shopping at the different markets like the fruit, fish, gold, and antiques market. While going around the shops, you can buy ancient Arabic antiques, traditional clothes, colorful Persian carpets, and you can also taste the delicious dates and flavorsome spices. At Jaber Lehmet Cultural Center, people can enjoy watching the marvelous musical and theatrical events, listening to the greatest orchestra bands, and many more. They can also enjoy their time eating at the restaurants surrounding the cheerful dancing fountain. Tourists are attracted to the modern design of the center, which makes it special. Moreover, at Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, people can visit the historical, Islamic, and scientific museums to see the mind-blowing displays. As you can see from our paragraph here, we've included as many adjectives as we can in order to create our descriptive piece and form a mental image in our reader's mind. And we're going to conclude with a sentence like, visiting those wonderful cultural attractions is a must to admire the beauty of the Kuwaiti culture. Now that you have your draft, revise it for any ideas, you're going to edit your writing before publishing it. So you're going to look for any mistakes. Let's look at the mistakes we have in the first body paragraph. Let's look at the first one, gorgeous. What's wrong with gorgeous here? It is obvious that it is an excellent spelling mistake. What about the second mistake here, outside? Well, before it, there's a full stop, and the O in outside is a lowercase letter. So we need to correct it and write a capital O. The third mistake in our first body paragraph, there's something missing. See, I have a sentence that starts with a capital letter, but there's something missing before. The sentence before it must have been ended, right? So a full stop is missing. Good job. Body paragraph 2. Again, let's look at the mistakes. You have the red box for colorful. That's an incorrect spelling for colorful. So we're going to refer back to a dictionary and find the correct spelling, colorful. What about the second mistake? Watch. Let's read the sentence from the beginning. At Jaber Lahmed Cultural Center, people can watch the marvelous musical and theatrical events? No, it sounds wrong. Enjoy, we know, takes verb ing, so enjoy watching. Excellent. We corrected our grammatical mistake here. And the final mistake. Tourists are attracted to the modern design. It's a good job, a spelling mistake. Well done. Now that you've edited your work and it's free from any errors and you have a complete draft, final draft, what are you going to do? You're going to publish it. Make sure it's free from errors. And when publishing your writing, it will look something like that. Make sure that you indent before your paragraphs. In today's episode, we learned how to write a descriptive essay. We learned how to plan a descriptive essay, including the introduction, body paragraph 1, main idea and its supporting details, body paragraph 2, main idea 2 and its supporting details, and finally the conclusion. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching.